Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. Welcome into the Gen Existentialists. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we are here on episode 19.
Wow.
Gen Existentialists, it's a show where we talk about stuff from a Gen X perspective. We will spin Mega Wheel the Magnificent, come up with a topic, and rail on it for sometimes a full 20 minutes or so. You never know. So I got to let you know, we came in today, and it's a new session. This is the first show of a new session. We usually cut 4 or 5 every time we get together. And so the plan was to come in and just start hitting the shows, just start knocking them out. And instead, we've spent the past hour just kind of talking about existential angst. And I don't want to retread the stuff we just talked about, but from a certain point of view, and Bunny, I'm going to throw this at you.
Okay.
Consider it a mini topic to start things.
All right. An hors d'oeuvre.
Yes. From your perspective, what is the most difficult part of being 50 today? From your perspective, where you are as a man at 50 years old? I guess from a personal point of view, I can't speak for all of you wonderful 50-year-old men and women out there. For a personal point of view, no one really warned me that adulthood would have so much long-standing grief to it. Long-standing grief as in loss of friends, loss of parents, loss of past, loss of family. And it's one of those things that I keep waiting for things to abate, and they do. It's just like living in a tropical climate. It's like living on an island, and it's a beautiful sunny day could be months at a time, and then a big storm will brew up and just wreck your island, and you got coconuts everywhere. So, and God knows you don't want coconuts.
I know,
everywhere.
You got to watch your head from those coconuts. So, it's one of those things where it seems like the weather patterns, they just keep coming. It's who said that? The Smash Mouth?
No.
Did the Smash Mouth say that?
It was All-Star.
R.I.P. Smash Mouth?
Yeah, exactly, because he's dead, isn't he? The lead singer. I guess I see that, but from a certain perspective, those waves, they happen all the time. I think it's more like we're used to them at this age. And we expect the next wave to come, whereas when you're 20, the big negative thing happens. Like for me, my dad's dad dying was one of those big tsunamis of what just happened. And the seas really did calm after that because I was young. I didn't have as much responsibility. I didn't have as much stuff going on. Yeah. Whereas when you get to this age, even if you don't want to be, you've got a backpack full of stones on your back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a matter of whether you choose to continue to carry some of them or you choose to lighten your load. And for me, that's sort of like what we were talking about before the show, the Stoic process of taking those stones, looking at them, recognizing them, take the lesson that you learned when you picked them up, leave the stone behind, keep the lesson.
Certainly. And
continue walking.
Yeah. I think there's a phantom stone sometimes, like a phantom limb.
Yeah, a phantom menace.
Yeah, if you lose a limb and then you still feel like your arm itches, even though your arm's been stuck in Grandpa's corn thresher or whatever for years. There's this kind of ghost that rides on your back, and it seems to get heavier and heavier as you age. In my opinion, this is a personal.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Bunny needs SSRIs, folks. Bunny needs SSRIs. Shut up.
That phantom though is exactly that. It's a phantom, and it weighs as much as you allow it to weigh.
Yeah.
And I know we're probably creeping a lot of people out that are listening, getting into the metaphysics of aging here. Really.
Can't you wait until you age to this age? It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I think one of the best benefits of being an adult, I was thinking about this morning on the way over, is the freedom or the perception of freedom that you have as an adult that you didn't really understand as a teenager or a child.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you thought about, I can do anything I want. But when you're an adult, you really can do anything you want, be it from incredibly stupid decisions to incredibly beneficial for the world decisions.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to that party if you don't want to. You don't even have to go to work if you don't want to. Now, of course, there are
ramifications for those decisions,
for all of your actions.
But whatever you choose to do is your choice.
It's like a choose your own adventure book for real kids when you get to this age. But there are, for me at least, I've picked up a few stones, as you were saying, along the way, and the load gets a little heavy, and you don't feel as I don't feel as fun as I used to. I was thinking back to when I was a teenager. I literally felt invincible. I had such confidence. I was swimming in dates and things to do, projects, meeting people. The world was still very fresh and new. And, that sort of things sort of dull as you get older. So
Well, I don't think the things dull.
No,
I think our eyes do. Our senses dull, because the wonder isn't there. When you've seen, a star-filled sky, sometimes seeing it again sometimes can leave you like, oh yeah, I've seen Orion before. And I try to force myself, and that's kind of my example, is like a starry night. Being able to look up and stop. And whatever I was doing, whether I was coming in from the car or took the garbage out or whatever, stop, look, and remind myself of how it looked the first time I can remember seeing that.
Sure.
That's the terrible thing about age, is because it's very easy to have that, been there, done that kind of point of view. And it's up to everyone individually to maintain their wonder, to maintain your inner child, really.
I will say my father was very good at teaching me that, because I never understood. This is terrifying. I have a front porch. Let me just throw that out there. This seems like a non sequitur. I finally have a front porch that looks out on a decent view, and I find myself lately spending a lot of time on the front porch just sitting and watching birds and squirrels, rabbits, and trains, and God knows what else comes by. And I never understood why my father did it. I never understood why a lot of the older people in my life, including just neighbors I didn't even know when I was growing up, you'd see them sitting in their garage or sitting on the driveway or sitting on the back porch or whatever, just staring off into space. And I was like, boy, that's really dull. But I think that is them realizing that there is still a sense of wonder out there. I mean, you're watching the world. As you slow down, the world doesn't. And the speed changes, even if mentally, and you're,
well, speed is relative. It's completely relative.
That's what scientists have told me back in the day. So I find myself still doing that. So it's not so much wonder. It's a loss of life around you. It's voices that you grew so familiar to hearing that you didn't know them from the sun rising in the morning, or the birds are going to be out picking around the front yard again, because they're always there picking around the front yard, just like the sun's always coming up, just like the rain always comes in the fall.
But things always change.
They do, but the world is very cyclical. Everything is very cyclical. And when there's that song, "Will the circle be unbroken?" By and by. So sometimes the circle is broken. Yeah. And it all comes back to being a circle again. But I think being an adult, being in your 50s, you start to notice a lot of the more chinks in the circle when pieces go missing.
It's not a perfect circle.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's more like an egg.
Yeah, and things revolve and things rotate, and it's...
Yeah.
I don't know. The old saying, the only constant is change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even with how cyclical things are, some, you know, like friends, bands, things drop away, other things take their place. And I think for me, the biggest thing is to always maintain an openness, to not close yourself off. You know, even when something tragic or traumatic happens, you know, your natural tendency, your natural instinct is to kind of hunker down and protect what's left. And I honestly almost feel like that's the exact opposite of what you should do.
It is, but it's very hard to change that human nature.
Yeah.
It's
human nature sucks.
Well, you know, human nature has been working for how many years now?
I mean, has it though? I mean, when you consider
you're
war,
here,
terror, you're
sitting here pretty. You know, I mean, you're sitting pretty right now. You're 50 years old. It's served you for 50 years. It served me for 50 years. A lot of what served me is fighting my natural instincts, though, and not reacting the way that my natural tendency would be. Because I've got a temper, and I had to chain that as a kid, and how I react to things. Not to bring up Stoicism again, which was a huge topic in our pre-show discussion, but a lot of it has been that. You know, the one thing you can control is how you react to stimulus. That's it. And that has been a key for me most of my life. Don't you find certain emotions exhilarating and fun, though? Like anger?
No.
You don't? I love anger.
I don't
I hate
find...
to say it. This is the Sith in me coming out. Where it's just
and
like,
it would be. Again, we're running the Sith versus Jedi polls here.
I find it exhilarating. I find it energizing. Not to go all Johnny Lydon, PIL, but anger is an energy. You know,
of all the people to take as a role model,
he's not
Johnny
a role
Rotten
model. He's just somebody,
or John Lydon.
He's just somebody who said something that was relevant. You know, even a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while. You know, it's just there's certain emotions that I find comfortable to soak in every once in a while. Anger would be one of them. Melancholy is another one, as you might have guessed listening to this podcast. I love the emotion of love. I love soaking in that. That's where I like to spend most of my time. But every once in a while, it's fun to dip your toe into another pool. Understanding
anger, because not to go all Bruce Banner from the one Avengers movie, but you know, I used to be angry all the time about any number of different things, and it didn't help me. It wasn't constructive. It wasn't helping me win friends and influence people. It wasn't helping me write better songs. Understanding it did.
Sure.
But as far as finding it exhilarating, basking in anger, what I usually find is that when I start to get angry, it's because I'm actually very frustrated at hypocrisy or stupidity or willful ignorance.
Yeah, bingo.
And the reaction to those things, if your reaction is anger, you're giving way too much to the people that are willfully ignorant, willfully stupid, hypocritical.
But we're all a hypocrite in somebody's movie.
It depends. I mean,
I get it.
Every hero is a villain to somebody else.
Thank God.
It's just the way it works.
No, I think people, it's weird. I talk about this sometimes and people get really nervous when I mention stuff like, oh, I think anger is really fine sometimes. Because I think, I know it sounds
folks,
terrible.
I just want to tell you, we don't do a visual podcast here, but if you had seen the look of glee on Bunny's face when he said that, and he's staring dead in the eye with me when he said it. It was just like almost like I could see the devil horns and the pointy tail twitching behind him.
That's the thing. People have a very hard time separating the degrees of emotion. Anger isn't hate.
No, it's not.
Now, anger
Very
isn't
different.
hatred, and people immediately think, "Oh gosh, he hates everything. He's an evil person." Anger isn't evil. There is righteous anger in this world. Anger is simply it's a fire inside, and
See, you're talking about passion, not anger.
There are degrees to passion too, in my opinion. I have actually been insulted by someone in the past who said that, well, he seems very passionate. And they meant that as a negative term. And I'm like, really? Like that's negative to you? Are you so cold and dead inside?
Yeah.
That you don't...
I get it.
Does that scare you when you feel a little,
A lot of people it does.
Aqua
because
in your vulva, I mean,
well,
like get upset?
Here's where a lot of people misunderstand Stoicism, too. Mm-hmm. And I think it plays right into that. Very passionate used as a derogatory comment. Being passionate is not a negative thing. Being stoic is not a negative thing. It doesn't mean that you don't feel.
Yeah.
It means that you control your reactions and you control your emotions.
Sure.
You don't let them take away with you. And the thing about anger is, again, not to go all Star Wars on things, anger unchecked does tend to lead to negativity.
Sure. Just like eating, a whole bag of Oreos as opposed to one is bad for your health. I get it, but you still want to eat an Oreo every once in a while, right?
Well, yeah.
Of course. So that's what I mean. It's okay to explore the rainbow of emotions inside you.
Okay, see, now you're saying explore, but before you were like saying that you should bask and revel in anger.
You should get comfortable in that pool every once in a while and just soak in it for a little bit. It's okay. It's what's the dumb...
But where's the line?
What's the dumb old analogy of like, you got two dogs inside of you and
two wolves.
Yeah,
one
two
that wins,
wolves.
One
Yeah,
that
exactly.
feed.
And I think it's people that are scared to play with that other dog every once in a while. Mm. There's a scary dog and there's a derpy dog. And everybody wants to hang out with the derpy dog because he likes to chase his tail and he's all cute and everybody loves him. And the other dog's super spooky and smells bad and gets angry on occasion. But I think if you get everybody to be friends, they all run around in a circle. It's an awesome time. And it's okay to, I think everybody is at least a duality, if not more. You have more dimensions. Most people have a lot of dimensions. And it's okay to explore some of those feelings without, I don't know. I mean, I hate to do the whole, I don't know, like I do. But I've met people who are super scared of, people who are scared of love, people who are scared of anger, people who are scared of sadness, people who are scared of exhilaration, and
they're typically the people that have had something happen, had something bad or traumatic happen as a result of those feelings, or, I was in love once and they broke my heart and now I don't want to do that again. It's that same kind of bullshit story.
I ate broccoli once and threw up on the carpet, so I'll never eat broccoli again. It's psychological aversion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
but I mean, the thing is, what you're saying. I mean, how many people do we know that have that?
There are quite a few.
Yeah.
At least that they present in public facing. Now, I don't know what you do behind closed doors, kids. That's between.
But we
you.
do want to know. Email us.
That's between you and the camera I hid in your house. No, it's. I don't know. I like to explore those emotions pretty freely, and I don't have an addictive personality, so maybe that's part of it. Maybe people that are scared of anger are addictive types who are like, I'm going to let it go so far that I start punching people or something. No, I mean,
I'm not scared of anger. I have seen the crises and trauma that unchecked anger has wrought. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be part of that. I have let my anger take not control of me, but direct me before.
Who was the gentleman that said, know thyself?
It was one of those early Greek philosophers.
Putting you on the spot because I don't know.
It was Aristotle or Socrates. I can't remember.
I mean, that's the whole point. It's like, it's playing with yourself. Oh, he said it.
Oh, emotional masturbation.
Yeah,
that'll be the title of this.
Oh, is
episode.
that what we're calling this? Jeez, hide your kids, hide your wife. You have to learn to master yourself before you can master the world around you, and I think you have to explore all the dark little crevices inside of you, within a safe
space.
Yeah, we got the safe space. No, there's no such thing as unchecked unless you don't have mastery, unless you don't limit yourself. I mean, because unchecked could be anything. Like, I spend too much time in the actual bathtub. I sat on the toilet so long, I got problems now because I went to the toilet unchecked. I ate too many pickles the other night and threw up because I unchecked and I ate all the gherkins all at once. Be mature. We're 50 years old, God damn it.
Essentially,
become an adult.
Everything here comes back to Stoicism.
Yeah,
comes back to experience, but master your experience.
I am terrible. I'm finally hitting the senior moments where I don't know. I can't remember the names of people. I'm
sorry. What were we talking about?
Where am I? Who are you? No.
Get those clouds out of my sky.
Yeah. Tell the nurse to leave the pudding when she leaves. No, there's a Stoic philosopher that I really like a lot. And I swear I cannot remember the guy's name to save my life. He's an old, craggy-looking dude. I can picture the bust in my head right now. But
you're probably thinking of Marcus Aurelius.
Seneca. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I'm a big Seneca fan. I had to think about it, and I was like, "Oh, isn't there an iced tea or something named after him?" I don't know, something like that.
Wasn't there a Toyota SUV named after him?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Boy, I'm going to buy one of those and plaster his head right on the front of it. No, I think Seneca is pretty bomb. He's banging for fur, as the kids say nowadays. So, yeah.
Well,
so what?
So we got through this episode. We didn't even spin Mega Wheel the Magnificent.
What a bunch of liars!
Yeah, just terrible.
You picked this show because you want random chaos, and instead you got a couple of
emotional
old guys.
Masturbation.
Yeah, rub that anger.
Rub your heart. See where it leads
going.
You.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for episode 19. We thank you for joining us. My name's Scott.
I'm Bunny.
And we'll catch you next time.
I'm
Have
angry.
a good one.